Good morning, a cold and frosty morning. Today we're in the little village of Hambledon in Buckinghamshire, England. And we're here to take a look around because this is where scenes for Band of Brothers, the scenes that were set in Aldbourne, were filmed. And we're going to go check out some of those today. Now in our previous video, we were in the village of Aldbourne taking a look at some of the places that Easy Company called home during their time in England. Well, today we've come up a little bit west of London to a small village called Hambleden. And we've come here because this is where those scenes in Band of Brothers were filmed. This is the village that they used as the setting for Aldbourne. Now, I don't know why they didn't film it in Aldbourne. I would imagine it's because this is a much smaller, quieter village than Aldbourne, although Aldbourne itself is still a fairly small village. It might have been that they had more filming access, more ability to use certain locations or closed locations. Who knows? Now, as a huge fan of Band of Brothers, like I know many people watching this channel will be, I was really excited to come here and check out some of the locations. And I bought some photos, some screenshots to look specifically at some of the locations that we used. Now, look, I think it's important to say that some of the inspiration for me coming here was after I'd watched a video by John, a World War II wayfinder. He's done a video very similar to what I'm going to do here, and I really recommend going and checking that video out because no doubt his video is going to be better than mine ends up being. Now we're starting our morning just by the church in the centre of Hambledon, and it's interesting actually, already having had a little walk around. Most of the scenes they used, or most of the locations they used, were literally just on this one little road where I am now. There is one place we're going to go that's just outside of the village, but to start with we're going to take a walk around here and have a look at some of the places. Let's go. Okay, so to start with, we've just come down to this spot here where we can see two locations that were used. First of all, if we look this way towards the garage, you can see a spot that was used for a couple of scenes. Let me just bring in the photo. You can see there we've got the photo. You can see the basketball net above the garage and the Jeep. Well, that was filmed right here. And from there by the garage, if we turn this way, we've got in front of us here Wheeler's Butchers. And this is where you can see another area that was used for filming. If I bring in the photo again, there we go. That is the area that was used with Wheeler's Butchers right here in the centre of Hambledon. Okay, so just slightly down from where we were, literally just down, we were just over here just now. This building here was used as the setting for the laundry. And if we bring in the photo, there we go. This is where they had the setting for the laundry in Aldbourne. Okay, going to move on to one of my favourite ones, just slightly up the road here now. So one of the real kind of key sort of aspects or narratives of the first episode of Band of Brothers was almost that kind of power struggle between Sobel and Winters. And you might remember there comes a point where Sobel gets kind of removed from his role at the head of Easy Company. And there's a scene where he's in a Jeep looking, you know, devastated, drives past Winters, and Winters kind of watches him go and realises something's going on. Well, that was filmed right here where I'm stood. So let's take a look. Okay, so here we go. This road in the centre of Hambledon is where that film, that piece of the episode was shot. So first of all, here we go. Here we have the picture of Sobel in the Jeep coming down this road here. And if we turn slightly to this angle, if I just change the photo quick, so facing in this direction, we have the back view of the same piece. So Sobel's Jeep drives through the village and he is off on his way away from Easy Company. And then stood in this same spot watching him go past was Dick Winters. So right here in this same spot, this is where Damien Lewis was stood, Dick Winters, as he watched Sobel drive past. That was filmed right here. Okay, we've just got one more before we leave the centre of the village. So I guess just what you would call like an establishing shot, or what I would probably call B-roll or something, filmed right here on this road. Is this shot here. There we go. Okay, so that's us finished in the centre of Hambledon. We're just going to head outside of the village to a spot where one of my favourite little scenes from that first episode was filmed. I think Band of Brothers is full of those kind of little sort of almost side scenes that aren't necessarily a key part of the main story, but still a kind of almost iconic in their own way. We're going to go check out one of those locations right now. Before we do though, there's one other quick spot I want to show you. So in our previous video, we moved along slightly from Aldbourne to Littlecote House, which, as we talked about, was used as Sync's headquarters. Well, in the series, those scenes were filmed outside this building just here. This is kind of, you know, where the sergeants all came out, and Winters was stood outside and watched them after they just resigned from their positions. Well, that was in this building. Unfortunately, that is private property and I can't get in there to do any kind of photo comparisons. But that is where this was filmed. Again, just here on this same little section of road in the centre of Hambledon. Right, let's go and head up the road for our next spot. Okay, so we've just come a little bit outside of Hambledon now to this T-junction. Now, before I tell you where we are, see if you can work out to where we are. I'll let you have a little look around. There were some scenes filmed just here on this junction, and a clue, this phone box was in them. Okay, so there'll probably be quite a few of you who worked it out. We're at the junction where in the series, Dick Winters and the men are out on a training exercise, and they're due to meet up with Sobel and the other guys. And Sobel's late, and Winters is deciding, oh, what do we do? Do we go anyway, or do we wait for them? And he decides to move anyway, and they move into this area here where the junction is. Now, at the same time, there is an elderly gentleman who is cycling his bike along this road here, and he bumps into the soldiers and he thinks, oh, I'm stuck, and then he makes a joke with Winters about, oh, you Yanks have got me now. Well, there's a couple of photos I've got here that we can line up. Okay, so the first one is right here. If we look in this direction, we are looking at the spot where the scene was filmed with this gentleman riding his bike along the road right here. And he comes around this corner and he bumps into the American soldiers, and he goes to turn back and the soldiers coming this way, and he thinks, oh, and he turns back and he bumps into Winters. And so just up here is where we've got the next shot that we're going to look at. So just here on this road is where the scene was shot, where the elderly guy bumps into Winters and kind of makes the, oh, you've got me now, Yanks joke. Well, that was filmed right here on this road. One of the kind of almost iconic scenes with Winters in that first episode of Band of Brothers, filmed right here on this road just outside of Hambledon. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, taking a look at some spots, not historic spots, but spots that relate to that series Band of Brothers that we all love so much. Finishing in this iconic location with the red phone box where the guy bumped into Winters, just here on this junction. Found this one really interesting. As a fan of the series, I loved looking around and seeing some of the places where it was filmed, and hope you guys enjoyed it too. Thanks again to John at World War II Wayfinder for kind of the inspiration to come here and look at this spot. And although he's made a very similar video, I still wanted to share it with you guys myself as well. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, do all the usual YouTube stuff right here on the screen for me. And I'm going to see you guys on the next video.